What's up, friends? My name is Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. And there's a terrible delay. Let me quit out of this flight footage. Maybe it'll get better. Welcome to Sunday Q&A. Normally this would be, I think this would normally be a giveaway night, but I'm here in Studio 2 without access to the giveaway stuff. So we're going to push the giveaways. Pretty sure tonight was supposed to be a giveaway night. If not, then we're good. If it was supposed to be a giveaway night, then we'll push them either to Wednesday or maybe Friday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're going to be showing some Patron video. We're going to be doing Q&A like we usually do on Monday nights. And then typically things slow down around 11:30-ish. And we're going to jump into the Patreon-only Discord channel called something called the Video Collective. There it is. And yeah, we're gonna play some Patron videos. J-Rod, thanks for subscribing, man. Good to have you here. I think I saw J-Rod say that he only comes for the intro song. You and me both, my man. In the chat, Apache Smoke, Udin Sniper was first, James Flores was next, Remy Tim, T-Bird, Frank Nicholas, Chopper FPV, Paul McDonald, Northern Tier, Jackalope, I Could Fly Here, Family Guy, Verdan, 636, Grizz, Yarbs, Zach Lothmer, B-Man, Sam Perez, Slow Entropy. If you want the Gangly Man to read your name, you got to get in early. Got to type something. If you want me to read your comment, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV in there. Keystrokes are different on this computer. Nope, that ain't the keystroke. Nope, that ain't the one. Nope, that ain't the one either. Maybe I don't have a keystroke for this. If you type CiottiFPV into your chat comment, it will light up an orange like this, and then I'll know that you're talking to me. Otherwise, I'll assume that you're talking amongst yourselves, which is one of the pretty unique things about this live stream. Oh, the keystrokes are just down immediately on OBS. Thanks, OBS. Yeah, that's one of the really amazing things about this live stream here is that the folks that hang out in the chat are just incredible. Super seasoned builders, tuners, pilots, and just a great group of people. So make yourselves at home, hang out in the chat. OG folks, if you see somebody asking a good question that you think would be good for us to talk about, copy it, paste it, tag me, and yeah, we'll discuss. I'm still in general nonsense over here. Let me get over to Video Collective. This is my full-time job. If you'd like to see these live streams continue, 8 to 10 hours a week every week, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and click some buttons. Patreon helps me out the most, but there's also an Etsy store, Fiverr page, and a Teespring store. Buy yourself something nice. Maybe that's a t-shirt, maybe it's a sticker, maybe it's some M2 hardware that you'll probably need at some point. Maybe that's one-on-one time with me. Which is going to help you fly better, build better, tune better. Those are the three main things. I mean, if you just have a half an hour's worth of questions, bring it on. Let's do it. But yeah, the three main things that I can really help you out with to accelerate you on your FPV journey are going to be flight instruction. I can help you fly better through the simulator. Build planning so that you stop buying things that catch on fire. HDLRC. HDLRC stuff catches on fire. I'm not doing that right, am I? And tuning. I can help you learn how to tune mainly by ear. I don't really use black box. I do essentially mechanical tuning and tuning by ear. Mechanical tuning meaning making sure that the mechanical system of your quad is sound. And that's where probably like 80 to 90% of the tune problems come from, is that your mechanical system is fucked up. You smashed into a concrete barrier and now all of a sudden your quad flies weird. That's got nothing to do with the PID tune. Like when you hit the concrete barrier, the ones and zeros in the PID tune didn't like escape the flight controller. You slammed into a barrier and you bent your motor shafts up. Let's fix that instead of crippling your tune. To get it to fly right again, spend the $20 to get a new motor on there and leave the tune alone. There's also a whole bunch of affiliate links. Next time you're buying yourself some FPV stuff, think about your gangly buddy. I might have an affiliate link to that website. Amazon. If you buy anything on Amazon and you remember to hit my affiliate link before you check out, I'll get free money. And then there's FPV Crate, FPV Cycle, Get FPV, a whole bunch of others. Banggood for you overseas folks. Let's get going in the chat here. Apache Smoke Wind Sniper says, good evening, good morning, friend from Holland at 3:30 a.m. There's some hardcore folks that hang out in this chat. T-Bird FPV says, what's up, ugly? Grizz FPV says, yo, CiottiFPV and Collective. Yarb says, just put packs into my shiny new Module 7 HD0. I don't care if CiottiFPV says the form factor is shit. It was better than I expected. I don't think it's shit. It's just not as good as 65 I always say for really hardcore indoor freestyle, right? The rigs that I build for myself are pretty focused. They're pretty specifically targeting like a specific type of flying by a pretty specific person. I try my best to put sort of disclaimers as often as I can. And, I hope that you guys understand that, I'm a 5+ year freestyle pilot, so I have pretty high expectations of my gear. There's plenty of stuff that flies really good, but I'm looking for stuff that flies like impeccable and like better than great. So yeah, And until you get, like, to be really honest with you guys, until you get to the point, I would say, like, until you get at least 2 years in, realistically, like, maybe 2.5, 3 years in, you're probably not going to notice a difference with a lot of this stuff. It's really splitting hairs. Hell, there's a lot of there's a lot of times where I can't tell a difference between stuff in terms of the way that it flies. The way that it crashes is where I tend to find a lot of sort of like, once you start beating gear up, that's what kind of separates the men from the boys in terms of these manufacturers. But yeah, in terms of like in the air, it's tough. It's really hard to feel the difference between stuff. You know what I'm saying? My parents got this for me. I was just hanging out with my parents, and they brought Maggie and I presents. And this was one of them, because I have the coolest parents in the world. What's up, CMYKFPV says, what's up, collective? Hope you had an awesome weekend. I did. Got to hang out with my favorite people in the entire world. Denzel the Terrible says, word to your mom, CiottiFPV and collective. Reading the Wind says, yo, what's up, collective? What's up, Ciotti? What's going on, Reed? Gem Fan Hobbies in the house. What's going on, Mike? Nemesis FPV says, scrolling back up because, of course, YouTube did the thing. Come on. There it is. Nemesis says, what's cracking, my guy? Slow Entropy says, sup? Glenn Burnett says, the delay is gone. Thank you, Glenn. Bob Noxious says, what's up, collective? And CiottiFPV. Quad Mod says, don't go changing. Never, Quad Mods. I'll never change. Gemfan Hobby says, I made the nip chips for Instagram and it didn't allow them. JVFPV leaving a couple exclamation points. Gemfan Hobby with a URL that does not work and will never work. AthixFPV says, oh boy. Says lick the like button to help the gangly man out with the analytics. Yeah, do the YouTube things. It's free. Click buttons, whatever buttons you want. Dan636 says, got Brandon Baked Beans to look at my tune. His recommendations were fire. There you go. Yeah, Brandon's Baked Beans, or just Brandon's Beans, here in chat. He does, so he works with Emu Flight and really knows what he's talking about. He's helped me a number of times with black box specific tuning on rigs that are completely unruly. And I was having a hard time tuning by ear and mechanically. He charges $1 a minute, which is like incredibly inexpensive. So yeah, if you need black box specific tuning help, Brandon's Beans is our big sort of go-to guy around here. You can catch up with him on my Discord channel, which is linked over at CiottiFPV.com, or just hang out here and chat for long enough and he'll pop up. And he's just a cool dude and just a good human being on top of that. So, you know, and those are the people that we support here in this little corner of the internet that we call the collective. Bob Noxious dropping the link to CiottiFPV.com. Thank you, dude. Metal Dirtskin says, you have a Whoop with the GO2 TPU holder on it. Can you show how you put it on there? Not from here. They are all at my apartment. But if the top of the canopy is like this, well, it's going to be tough for me to show you. All right, let me see if I can show you with this bracelet that I ruined. So the picture, this is the TPU Insta360 GO1 or 2 holder, right? It's a big long piece of flexible TPU. And the canopy is like this. This is where the camera sits. A little bit of up tilt, camera's looking this way, and then the rest of the goober canopy rolls off like my hand is right now. The TPU thing goes under like that, and then it wraps up and over, and then the loops are up on top. And then you put screws on the bottom, and those screws go up through the front holes of the canopy, and they jack in to the TPU up on the top on sort of like the outside there. That's the best visualization that I can give you. But yeah, it kind of like wraps around like this, around the bottom of the canopy, and then two screws go up, and then they go into like the part of the TPU that has the holes in it. And then they just stick up. I'm trying to think if there's pictures of them anywhere. You know what you can do? Go to my channel here, and then go to like the videos section, which has every single video I've ever put up. And there's a little search field, a specific search field that'll only search on my channel. Search for Tiny Lifter. That's what I call those rigs that I've designed to carry the Insta360 GO2. Search for Tiny Lifter, and that'll come up with a bunch of my live streams where I was building those. And at some point, I'll show that canopy with the TPU holder on it. Or at some point, I might even install the damn thing so you can see it. But once you see a picture of it installed, it'll totally make sense to you. Or by me just telling you that you need screws might totally explain it. Because I've had people that are like, how the hell does this thing go on here? And it's like, yeah, you need 2 screws up from the bottom, 2 M2s. I think you want M2 by 5s. You might want M2 by 6s. If you don't have any of that specific kind of hardware, that's an example of something that I have over on the Etsy store. You can buy yourself a sticker or 2 and some random micro hardware. T-Bird-FPV says, dude, you got some sun? Yeah, I'm trying. This studio also is a little bit more of a it's a little bit more of a dramatic lighting setup, so I tend to look more Italian here. But I have been trying to go outside because it's good for my mental health. Jackalope says, love the shirt and mug. Thank you, dude. This is the shirt of the day here. So many. So many great things on this shirt. You just look up like Neil deGrasse Tyson quotes. The dude knows what's what. Rob B says, I'm building my first quad and I had an HDLRC VTX in pit mode while trying to get ELRS bound. Had video when I started, but not by the time it got bound. Glad it may not be all my fault. I mean, if it was in pit mode, yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, I've had a really rough time with HDLRC stuff just not working right out of the box. So, yeah, and I actually had trouble with HDLRC's VTX, their current VTX. So, yeah, might not be you, Rob. But yeah, I mean, if just so that you really don't feel like it was your fault, you had it in pit mode. You did what you needed to do. If a VTX is going to be powered on for a while, I'm gonna also hope that you had an antenna plugged into it. If you didn't have an antenna plugged into it, but it was in pit mode, I would hope that it would still be okay. I would assume that it should have been fine. But if you didn't have an antenna plugged into it, I think maybe you need to take on like maybe 1% of the responsibility. But yeah, pit mode, it should stay ultra cool because it's outputting like 0.1 of a watt or something absolutely, or no, 0.1 of a milliwatt actually. So yeah, it's probably not you, man. HDLRC stuff, they've got a really bad reputation in the entire FPV community. It's not just like a couple of us that have had problems with it. Type HDLRC into the chat if you've had problems with HDLRC in the past. Watch this. Compost Pile says, few weeks. Oh, god damn you. YouTube just did the thing again. There we go. Compost Pile says, a few weeks ago, one of your in one of your Q&As, Jesse Perkins said TinyWhoop motors are on the way. Just recently, TinyWhoop got the brushed motors. Do you know about that? What do you think of the brushed? TinyWhoop brushed motors are they're back in the days of brushed motors. There wasn't as big of a difference in quality as with these brushless motors. I got the feeling back then that brushed motors were all being made by like the same place. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but And it's also hard to evaluate brushed motors because they fail so quickly. Like they just wear out. The brushes are just not long for this world, regardless. So the one big thing that you'd be able to evaluate with brushed motors is just how much power they make when they're fresh, and that's just a function of how big the can is and what the KV is. So, yeah, TinyWhoop.com brushed motors were just as good as all the other brushed motors. So yeah, buy those with confidence. I was hoping that his brushless TinyWhoop motors would be in sooner than this, but yeah, I looked the other day and they still weren't in. So, but yeah, their brushed motors are a great compost pile. So yeah, hopefully that helps you out. Reed in the Wind with a $49.99 super chat. Good Lord, thank you very much, Reed. No comment, just wants to support the utter madness that is trying to be a FPV content creator and pilot full time. Thank you, brother. Very, very cool of you. Super generous. Damn. Mutteritzkin says, perfect. That answers my question. I knew you needed screws, but if they come up through the bottom, that makes sense. There it is. I had a feeling that you might, that might have been the disconnect. Because I don't think that the delay is back. Great. I don't think that, I'm going to make myself small so that it doesn't drive you guys absolutely insane that there's such a delay on the video. I hit the wrong button, guys. That's what I do. Man, I had said all kinds of good stuff too. Just another live stream with your boy CiottiFPV. Did I hit the right button this time? I did. Oh man, what was I saying? I don't know. Oh God, why? AOS 3.5 V2 now exists. Why is it? Oh, it's sharing the laptop. I don't want it to share the laptop. There we go. That's the right button. Monitor with zoom. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. User error. Look, there's an AOS 3.5 V2, friends, and it looks like it's just a shrunken down version of the AOS 5 V2, which is not a bad thing per se. What I'm really curious about is whether or not they ditched the M1.3 hardware on top and whether or not the arms meet. Well, I think we have an answer on the arm front. It does not, those rear connection points there on the arms do not look like they meet. And I don't love that. But I would love it if... Now, these are all just renders. Oh, wait, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Ooh, that looks like M1.5, doesn't it? Oh, and that says 10.9 on it. Okay. So, I'm gonna take a guess that the hardware on the top plate here is now M1.5, which is really, really... That's really good news. Let's see what else I can... figure. Oh, we can. So okay. So I'll tell you whether. So that's M2 1.5 millimeter on the bottom there. The V1 had those. So look at. Let's pay attention to the size of that hex hole versus the circle, right? And now we'll look at the top plate. And nope. Top plate is still M1. Is still M2 1.3 millimeter. Hardware. That's super disappointing. Thanks for calling me to let me know, Dan. That's not what I want. I want this one. Hold on. Why is this one below this one? There we go. Monitor, zoom, mic. Okay, there we go. That's oh man, that makes me very sad. I just don't get it. I just don't understand that. 1.3 millimeter hardware is just gonna strip way easier. 1.5 is already too small. I think that even these micro frames should be M3. It's not that much heavier. Damn, that's really disappointing. So it looks like my two main complaints about the AOS 3.5 have not been fixed on the V2. That's a shame. That is a shame. It does have the new arm design here, though, which is a good thing from the AOS 5. To be honest with you guys, it really just looks like the AOS 5 put into a photocopy machine at 60%, which, you know, I mean, it's not bad, but yeah, huh. Still probably a really good frame. I just don't think that it's gonna. Well, I talked all about it on Monday, on yesterday's stream. So you guys can check that out if you want more ranting and raving about the AOS 3.5. There's a lot of good things about it, though. A lot of really good things about that frame. So it's not all doom and gloom. There's just a couple of things that I just don't think is going to work all that well once you start crashing it hard and beating it up and taking it apart multiple times to fix it and stuff like that. CiottiFPV says best settings for GoPro 6, also cinematic flying GoPro 6 Insta360 GO2. There really is no such thing as like best settings. There are just settings. So that there are best settings, but the best settings will apply to the specific time and date and situation and spot and everything surrounding, like every time you fly. So yeah, there's not just like a blanket set of best settings. The only blanket things that, and even these don't apply to all situations, like going with these settings can get you into trouble and have some totally useless footage for you. But in, I don't know, maybe 60% of cases, these things will work for you. Limiting your ISO to from 100 to 400 is usually a good bet. Locking down your white balance to, it kind of doesn't matter, but for me, I pick 5,500. It's kind of right in the middle. If you do that, though, you're going to have to, well, not have to, but you're going to have to do white balance corrections in post. And then bitrate high, and there's one more. What's the other one? GoPro flat color profile. Again, with GoPro flat color profile, say that 20 times fast. You have to do post-production because everything's gonna be washed out. So yeah, those are really the only settings that are even remotely like blanketable when it comes to like best settings. If you spend 15 or 20 minutes here on YouTube searching for like you can probably just search for GoPro settings. There are photographers that will explain to you what shutter speed means, what f-stop means, what ISO means, or you can just look at like Photography 101 and just spend a tiny little bit of time. You can learn what those different settings are so that when you go out to fly, you can properly set the GoPro up so that you get really nice footage. It's not super difficult. You just have to put a little bit of time and effort in. But if you want your footage to look good, that's an absolute requirement, right? Like there's not a videographer on the planet that just takes some random stranger on the internet settings for his ARRI or Red Komodo and they work. It's just, you know, like, I know it seems like we're jet fighter pilots, but we're not. We're filmographers, and you got to do a little bit of work to be a good to learn how a camera works and to learn what those settings are going to do for you. So yeah, that's my real recommendation. My real recommendation is to spend 15 or 20 minutes just learning what shutter speed is, what ISO is, what f-stop is, what the different manual settings in the GoPro are, because then you'll be able to set them properly, and then your footage will actually look good, rather than, you know, sometimes you go out and your footage looks great, other times it looks terrible. The problem with that is, I guarantee you that the coolest spot that you ever fly and the best that you ever fly are going to be days where the lighting was weird and your blanket settings that you got off YouTube from, you know, some gangly man were not correct for the lighting conditions that you were in. So do yourself a favor and just put a little bit of effort into learning how cameras work, and it'll serve you well for the rest of your life. It's going to serve you well every single time you take a picture on your phone too, because understanding these things will literally make you a a much better photographer, videographer, etc. And that's, that's what we're doing. Metadurtson says lost sound, muted in the scene. Yarb says no audio. Right, 9 says oh fuck. James says not sound. JVFPV says audio buddy. Let's just imagine what he's saying. Now all of a sudden the chat has just shit the bed. What is okay. YouTube, I really wish that your chat worked. Oh my god. The sound was broken for a long time. Not broken, turned off by a dumb man. Slow entropy just came back, no sound. 661. Hey, 661, thanks for calling that out. He says, did you see the cockroach frame is now lifetime warranty? Yeah, that's pretty. Is the delay still going? Delay's a little bit better. Tell me if the delay is driving you insane. Yeah, Newbie Drone is now doing a lifetime warranty on their cockroach frames. If you break one, all you got to show them is a receipt from where you bought it. Nope, I can't even stand the delay. I don't expect you guys to. Monitor zoom. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you got to send them just like the screenshot or whatever of your receipt from wherever you bought it, and I think you got to take a picture of the broken frame, and they'll send you a new one, which is wild. I think that they have a lot of those. Well, when you have anything poured, the minimum quantities are absurd. So I think that they just have I wouldn't be surprised if they had to order 10,000 of those things. And how on earth do you move 10,000 TinyWhoop frames? So I have a feeling that has a lot to do with it. But who cares, right? Buy a cockroach frame now and you get lifetime replacements. That's pretty amazing. Apache Smoke Wounds. No, we got that audio. Mudkips 321 with a $1.99 super chat. He says your sound broke. Thanks, Mudkips, for supporting the YouTuber that can't push the right buttons. That was my dad in the chat. He says, evening, Aaron. We made it to the mountain. Awesome. I hung out with my parents all night. It was awesome. And they left right before the stream started, so it sounds like they made it home. No audio. You can't have audio lag if you don't have audio. Good call, I think. Quad Mods FPV with a $6.99. So should I just you guys are so generous with the no sound super chats. Maybe I should do this more often. Quad Mods, thank you very much for the $6.99 Canadian Californian super chat. No sound, my man. Drone Pilot says he is saying that CiottiFPV has 2 giveaways and 3 tomorrow, 1 extra right now. Yeah, that ain't it. We're going to do giveaways either Wednesday or Friday because I do not have access to the giveaway stuff tonight. Huckleberry says, why am I dying laughing over no audio? Oh my god, 10 minutes later. I love it. None of the mods are texting. LOL. JVFU says, damn, okay, just start over. Drone Pilot says, ha. Metadurtson says, the mug knows all and tells all. Reed says, I had said all kinds of good stuff. Fucking classic. I did too. I was on a roll, man. God damn it. FPV Trucker says, you must have gotten an older AOS 3.5. Mine didn't have those mismatched screws. Which mismatched screws are you talking about, FPV Trucker? Mine did not have mismatched screws. It had 1.5 millimeter headed screws for the bottom, 1.3 millimeter headed screws for the top, which multiple people have told me is what comes with the AOS 3.5. And in the pictures that we were just looking at of the AOS 3.5 V2, that was also the case. It had 1.5 mil on the bottom, 1.3 millimeters on the top. Remy Tim with a $9.99 super chat. He says, we all start somewhere. Live streaming is hard, but with practice, you too can have success. Congratulations on a successful first stream today. As I've said many times before, if given the opportunity, don't live stream. It's a mess. It's just really frustrating. It's just infinitely frustrating. Danzilla the Terrible says there was a screw type option on that AOS page. Oh, but it's just button head versus countersunk. That's disappointing. Do they call it out? Like, do they talk about it anywhere? Like, it's really not good, man. Like, 1.5 millimeter headed screws are bad enough. Like, they are so easy, even with MIP drivers, to strip out. And you just can't crank on them because they just strip out. And then to go to a 1.3, like, I just don't get it. And no, they don't talk about it anywhere on here. Yeah, I mean, like, the first time that you build it, you'll probably be okay, and maybe you can, like, repair it once or twice, but beyond that, they're just gonna strip out. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Gunny P says, a V2 right after you bought the V1? I'd go straight nuts. I didn't pay for the V1, so I can't really complain too loudly about it. Or at all. And I am going to try to find replacement hardware for the top plate that is at least 1.5 millimeters, but I'm not even happy about that. Like, the whole M2 thing can just go eat dirt. Go-Kart Mozart says, what's the screw type options tab do? Thanks for catching that, guys. Cheesehead FPV says, what do you think of the Baby Ape 3-inch? I don't know what that is. Is that a quad or is that a sexual position? Baby Ape 3-inch. Why did I just type that into Google? Okay, good. Whew, that was risky. Oh, look at that. Look how not perverted my search history is, that it only showed me FPV things. So it looks awful big. The arms are not tapered, which is a big no-no for me. The arms not being tapered is basically a really good way to tell either somebody's very first frame design or a manufacturer that's just not paying attention, or a manufacturer that doesn't have a sponsored pilot or any pilots that are actually flying these things and crashing them. So, I mean, yeah, the whole like non-tapered arm thing, like that's an instant no from me. There's just absolutely no reason to not do that in 2022. It's just a known quantity that you taper the arms. If you're not if you don't taper the arms like this, and the arms don't break, and that's your excuse that you're using, you've got an arm that's needlessly heavy. But typically, and especially with an arm this thin, I'm pretty sure that it is going to break, and it's going to break right in here. It's going to break right here, because this is one big long lever. So as you go in farther and farther and farther, the amount of torque and force being placed on the arm increases. So yeah, this rig, the arms are going to break right in here over and over and over again. And there's just absolutely no reason for that. Like that's just lazy or stupid frame design. Yeah, that's a really big problem. And like I said, even if it doesn't break, it's a waste. You're wasting material here, and you're wasting weight. And in here, it's really important to lighten your arm up. It makes a really big difference in frame design. So it gets a really big no from me, unfortunately, because of that extremely simple piece of frame design that like everybody knows by now. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we didn't really get that. Like, we didn't really understand that 3 or 4 years ago. So if this thing has been out for that long, then okay, I guess it gets a little bit of a pass for me, but don't buy it. Yeah, I mean, I don't really... Oh, wow, it's pretty light, though. 23.2 grams. Jesus, that's really light. But yeah, I mean, it's just we don't have a shortage of good frames. So if a frame has a deal breaker like that, just done, you know, like just move on. There's plenty of other frame Oh, wow. Oh, wow. All right, so let me tell you something about this right here. This says a lot about Darwin FPV. So this right here, this is the original. We're talking 5+ years ago. This is the original Emax Baby Hawk motor can, which was designed long before the Emax Baby Hawk for a photography drone, some sort of a little tiny cheap ass photography drone. And yeah, Emax was able to get an absolute shit ton of these for like no money, and they put it onto the original Emax Baby Hawk, and it sucked back then, and it's even worse now. See this bolt? Does this look weird to you guys? Do these screw holes look like they're maybe a little bit too far from the center shaft? Yeah, that's because they are. This motor was developed not for FPV, and the bolt pattern up here is not our standard. I guess I don't know I forget what the spacing is of T-mount, but yeah, this is an incorrect. You can't screw a prop into. Well, you can. You can screw the original 2.3-inch Baby Hawk prop into this. Good luck finding any, and that prop sucked back then anyway. So yeah, this is, wow, Darwin FPV. Just, oh God, look at the price though. Okay, at least they're not charging anything for it. This is about what this motor is worth. $378 per. Jesus, Darwin, get with the times, homies. Holy cow. This is also a terrible motor option for a frame that's swinging 3-inch props. This is like a 2-inch motor, maybe even like a 1.6-inch propeller motor. So yeah, this is not good. This is bad. Don't buy this. Oh wow, it's cheap though. Wow, $80. Okay, I did not realize that. Wow, $80 for a whole quad? What? Hold on here. Hold on. Is this really a whole quad for $80? Caddx Ant. This is a whole quad for $80. Hold on. Hold on now. Hold on. That changes things significantly. I thought this was like a 200, most Bindaflies is like $200+. I mean, it's going to fly like absolute dog shit, but I mean, for $80, you can buy it for somebody and try to get them hooked on FPV. Wow, yeah, AIO. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, as a gift for someone, here's what I'll say. I'm such a dick. Ready? Ready for me to be a dick? If you're buying a present for someone that you don't like, Baby Ape all day. And I'll tell you why I say that. 1, it's going to fly terrible. But 2, getting someone into FPV is like getting someone into crack rocks. It's just sort of a mean thing to do. You know what I mean? Like can you imagine? Here you go. Here's a quad that's going to fly terribly that could potentially get you into the most annoying hobby ever. But man, if you stick with this really annoying hobby for a couple of years, goddamn is it fun until it's not. But it'll be worth it, but you're not going to get there with this rig because it's just terrible. $80 for a whole quad. What? It might be worth. Oh man, $80. Man, is that gonna fly bad though? Woo, boy, that is gonna fly awful. So, if you buy one of these, definitely take these 3-inch tri-blades off of it because they're gonna be hideously bad. and replace them with either 3-inch bi-blades or 2.5-inch props, or even 2-inch props are going to be much better, just because they're going to pair a lot better with these motors. And then don't crash it, because the arms are going to break. Run the lightest possible weight battery that you can, because that's the only hope that you have of the arms withstanding any abuse. Other than that, you'll be good, though. Wow, $80 for a whole frame. What? Jesus. Okay. Maybe we're gonna be all right. Let's take a look at some of these reviews. Skylar Yeetman loved it out of the box. Edwin knows what's up. Josh knows what's up. Not a lot of great reviews. Great little quad, flies amazing for the price. There you go. On arrival, a standoff is stripped out. That's not going well. Yeah. This is a present. This is a present for your enemies. Don't buy that if you like FPV. Buy that if you're trying to get somebody hooked on it. $80. Damn, son. Oh, there's a pro version. Oh, let's look at it's $92. What do you get for the pro version? Do you get standoffs that aren't stripped out? Here we go. A better camera. That's not important at all. Yeah, don't buy the pro version. That ain't gonna help you out at all. Yeah, definitely don't buy the pro version. You don't want to be spending any more money than you need to on this rig. But for your very first rig, it's gonna suck. But, your very first rig always sucks. So it's, just like your very first car should be just a huge pile of shit, so that every car you get after that, you appreciate, So there you go. There's my review of the Baby Ape. Sorry if I hurt your feelings, Cheesehead. I just realized that you might have one, and I might have made you hate me. It's, I'm good at that. Cheesehead FPV with a $1.99 super chat. Now I feel even worse. He says, thanks for the help, my dude. Cheesehead FPV, if you have this, or if you just bought it, it'll make you appreciate all the other rigs that you custom build. And there's nothing wrong with that. We forget about that sometimes, right? Because there's a lot of good rigs out there. But yeah, we all fuck up and buy the wrong thing at some point, and we can either be really pissed about it, or we can take it as a life lesson that, we should have done more research, and that, yeah, we're going to appreciate the next rig that we buy or build or whatever. So hopefully that eases the sting if you spent your hard-earned money on one of those. Bob Noxious says use subtitles. T-Bird says mods texted. He just doesn't look at his phone. Yep, it's true. Ready? Look. Yep. There it is. 5 texts. Bob Noxious, Tyler. Yeah, there it is. I have my phone set to fully set, all when the YouTube channel started picking up and some other things happened. The notifications on my phone were just constant. It was just 24/7. And that doesn't work for my mental health, because I can't not look at it when it makes a noise. So a long time ago, actually, I turned all notifications off on my phone, and it literally changed my life. I pick up my phone every half an hour to an hour, and I have, the in-app notifications. The notifications I did not turn off are the little red, you guys can't see it, but the little red number of notifications per application. So every half an hour to an hour, I pick my phone up and I go and I seek out all of the things that, need attention. And I work through all of them, and then I put the phone back down again, and I live my life for half an hour, or sometimes a couple of hours. And yeah, I have to have that. That is a requirement. Oh, the delay is gone. That is a requirement for my like literal sanity. So yeah, and in times like this, it sucks. But 99 times out of 100, it's great to have my phone set up like that. But Ertson says, how long are those screws with the 1.3 heads? McMaster car might have some. I'll split a pack of 50 with you. LOL. Oh God. My guess would be they are M2 by 5. Because they're just the top plate screws. The top plate is really thin and they're conical. So yeah, my guess is going to be M2 by 5. Yeah. CiottiFPV says the motor looks the same but different specs on the Darwin. So it's the same can size, which is 1104, but it's a different KV. Or is it? What is the KV on this motor? I think it said 7500. That is not what. No, it's 4300 KV. Nope. Yep, that's the exact same motor. 4300 KV. That's it. I thought it said 7500 KV, didn't it? No, 4300 KV. I think that's what the OG Baby Hawk was, right? 4300. Let's see. Now I'm curious. Emax Baby Hawk white plastic. See if I can find the OG Baby Hawk. Let's try this. Emax Baby Hawk 1104. Hey, there they are. 5250. Oh, wow. Darwin went the opposite direction. Yeah, there you go. There they are. There they are. Oh, looks like Emax had their logo laser etched on them. Fancy. Wow, these are in stock. Wow. So if you have the Baby Ape and you want to upgrade your motors, here you go. Oh wow, $12 a motor. That's asinine. Don't do it. Don't you dare buy these for $12 a motor. If anybody buys these for $12 a motor, I'm gonna come to your house and hit you in the head with a fucking hammer. Don't you dare. Yarb says, I got the 3-inch rip squeak on the bench, just noticed 3.5-inch fit in there by snipping out a teeny bit of the camera mount TPU. I'm going to get real weird with it. Yeah, Yarbs, there are camera mounts that have that chunk of the TPU removed that you can use to do that. But yeah, the 3.5s do fit, and they have for a long time, actually. Bob Noxious says Nick Burns reviewed the Baby Ape. Well, that's pretty cool. King Turkey says it is a sinister thing getting someone into the hobby knowing what they're going to be subjected to if the worm gets them. I know, right? Like I don't get people into FPV. It's just I just don't get people into FPV. It's like it's great for us. But first and foremost, the reason why I don't is because nobody sticks with it, right? Like we see that. The turnover in FPV is absolutely absurd. And yeah, I don't know. It's just such an emotional, this hobby is just such an emotional roller coaster. I don't want to sign anybody that I'd be afraid that I would like lose a friend, you know? Anything says my first quad was a Shuriken 180. I would roll the dice on the Darwin. 661 said it's kind of like a toothpick. It's an ultralight build. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, at that frame weight, I guess you could kind of consider it to be an ultralight, to be like a toothpick. Wow. I'm just looking at it again. What a thing. YouTube just did the thing. Come on. There we go. Rob B says, I think the AOS 3.5 with the button heads is all 1.5. Maybe I'm missing something, but my kit seems to all fit the same driver. If it all fits the same driver, then it is 1.5. So that's pretty cool. But what I will say is it still does look in this picture like the button heads are 1.3 millimeters. You know what I'm saying? Like if we look at this, if we look at the 1.5 millimeter head on this screw that's on the bottom plate, right, and we look at the size of that pentagon, whatever the hell 6 sides is, octagon, yeah, in comparison to the roundness of the thingy, of the screw itself. And then we look at that button head. That certainly looks smaller, doesn't it? Doesn't that look smaller? And it looks the same as that. So I don't know. But I mean, if you guys have AOS 3.5s with 1.5 mil screws on the top, that's great. I still don't like that it's 1.5. I still think that it should be M3, but it being 1.5 is a hell of a lot better than 1.3, that's for sure. 1.3 is almost a deal breaker for me. I really want to build that AOS 3.5, but I'm having a real hard time justifying it with that hardware because I know that I'm going to strip those out. And I know that I'm not going to be able to crank them down good. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I also might... So, I've been seeing some rumblings and grumblings on some of the photography drone groups today about some court case with the FAA, and they relaxed their... I could be wrong here because I only read like 10 minutes on this, but apparently they relaxed the rules a little bit, and they kind of... It sounds like they kind of specifically said that if you're sub 250 and you've got prop guards, they didn't say prop guards, they said if the rig can't lacerate people, which, man, that feels pretty open because, like, I feel like you could make a hell of a case for the GemFan folding props not being able to lacerate someone, right? But to be safe, right, we're talking prop guards here, that you're able to, that they're now okay with you flying over people. It was a real gray area previous to this, but yeah, and the photography drone people were all up in arms about what is it, the Mavic Air 2, I guess, whatever the little Mavic Air is. Apparently, there's no way to keep that under 250 grams if you put any kind of a prop guard on it. So they're all pissed and saying that the FAA is out to get them. But for us, that's really, really, really good stuff. There's some, I don't know, there's some classification, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, I don't know. Like I said, I only read for like 10 minutes about it. But yeah, it certainly seems like what I was really excited about is that the FAA is going in the right direction, right? Like they're working with drone pilots. And that's a big deal because how often does that happen, right? With anything ever. So that was pretty exciting. So what that has me starting to think now is that instead of the AOS 3.5 build, that I'm going to move forward with the QAV Cine 2.5-inch Freibot edition build, because that's got the carbon fiber around the props. So that rig, the AOS 3.5, I was going to build it with the folding GemFan props, but those props are very low pitch. So yeah, I don't know. I gotta think some more about it, but we'll see. David Ciotti says, be careful what you wish for. I wonder what I was talking about at 10:53. Athix says, the pro version is with the Caddx Ant. Thank you, Athix. Bob Noxious says, new pilots would benefit from the Baby Ape the most. I don't know. I'm still pretty gung ho about. Building for your first rig. I didn't, but I don't know. I feel like you should. Although it's different now because the bind and flies are so good. Like you can, like Matt Pachwa, you know, he's really, I mean, his channel's bigger than this one. He's one of these new guys that kind of got into the hobby once the bind and flies were really good. And I don't get the feeling that he's ever built a rig. And he's got a big successful YouTube channel and he does all these cinematic gigs and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, I mean, that hurts my soul, but can't argue with you know, somebody that's more successful than I am that's been able to make it work, right? You know, who am I to talk shit? So, yeah, I don't know. It's, to me, building is a part of FPV. And there's no questioning that you can build a rig that's going to work for your specific use case better than any of the bind and flies. That's just the them's just the facts. But the bind and flies are good enough, especially with like Real Steady being so good, that you can get acceptable footage and then just spend a bunch of time editing to make it so that, you know, it's and like also the people that typically hire us are not FPV people. And when we show them any footage, whether or not the quad's having a seizure or not, it kind of doesn't matter. And they're just like, "Oh my God, you went under a chair? Oh, take all my money." That never happens. But so yeah, that's interesting. Was Bot here? Did I miss Bot Grinder? Oh. Somebody says, well, Bot left. YouTube just did the thing again. Come on. Come on, where was I at? Oh, wait, here we go. I went up too far. That's what she said. T-Bird FPV says, isn't the Darwin AIO what Bob is pushing? I wouldn't, I mean, pushing is a weird word, but I think Darwin is the company that, is it the same Darwin? And to be honest, I feel terrible about shitting all over Darwin about that rig. For $80, man, like, I mean, I do wish that they paid a little bit more attention to that frame design, because there's just no reason to not taper the arms. So I'll fucking take that one to my grave. But if you're gonna sell an $80 rig, you have to use those motors. There is no other motor that you can get to make an $80 FPV rig. So 10 points to them. I'm now I'm all interested in Darwin FPV. I'm checking out their website here to see if they have some good stuff. Easy phone, easy. They have something called the Johnny 5 for $170. Yeah, I think this is the same. Hey, there it is. Well, there we go. So there's your answer. There's looks like they ripped Bob off and they're selling the stack. That might not be the same one, but something that's the reason why I say that is there's a very common practice by FPV manufacturers where and this has happened to Bob over and over again, where he goes to a manufacturer and he says, "Hey, I need you to I want you to manufacture this board for me. Here's all the specs." And the company makes the board for them, and then they take that person's logo off of the board and they make a whole bunch more and they sell them for 10 or 20 bucks less. This happens with motors, this happens with props, this happens with all kinds of stuff. So that's why I say that they ripped out. I don't know if they actually did. Maybe they changed something on the board, but it is what it is. I've talked to Bob about why so when I saw that his stack was made with Darwin FPV, I was like, who the fuck is Darwin FPV? And I messaged Bob, I was like, hey, who's this Darwin FPV that you had the stack made from? Tell me more. And he basically said that he had electronics made by a bunch of different companies, and theirs was the best that he had to the specs. And how can you argue with that? So yeah. 6 is hex, oct is 8. Geez, yeah, no, I don't know. I have like a mental block on that. Veritas Weasel says, if you go to GoPro.com, you can get the Hero 10 Blacks for $350. My God, that's a good deal. YouTube, can you just easy with the scrolling my chat to the bottom. T-Bird FPV says 107 Class 1 Mavic Mini 2. Thank you, T-Bird. Mavic Mini 2, not Air. Although the people that I was talking about, they were bitching and moaning about the Air. I don't know, whatever. I don't know Mavic's product line. It's confusing. Ruby Tim says this is a different hobby than it was when us old men got into it. I have a lot of clients who say, I think I need to buy a new quad at the first sign of trouble with a rig. Jesus, that's ridiculous. Yeah, it is different. And my God, the bind and flies are so cheap. You can't build rigs for cheaper than the bind and flies anymore. It's just silly. I mean, I guess you can just buy bind and flies, and then when they break, just throw them on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody will give you 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks for it, and then you just buy another one. And time is money. So it from a business standpoint, it might actually be a better idea to do that. Ooh, it feels bad. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Slim with a $20 super chat. Thank you, dude. He goes, a little something to say thanks for inspiring me to build a Ripsqueak. It's a blast. Dude, thank you, Slim. Very, very cool. Very generous. Glad you're having a blast with the Ripsqueak. It's a great frame. One of my favorites. Avik says, I would say a $90 stack versus an $80 bind and fly. So, yeah, man. It's, I don't know. It's wild. It's, bind and flies fly pretty good. Not as good, but man, they fly pretty good. I don't know what's going on. What's KS is acting up in the chat? That's interesting. Let me look at a couple of KS's messages and I'll determine whether or not he's gonna get banned from the entire channel. Nah. Doesn't look that bad. Yeah, it's fine. KS. Whatever you were doing, chill. Thank you, mods. Veritas Weasel says, Matt P just has a lot of sisters who have lots of swooning girlfriends watching him on YouTube. Interesting. All right, cool. So we're caught up on chat. Awesome. Let's dig into some Patron videos over here on the Discord channel. So let me share the laptop screen. Squeen with a W. SCWEEN, apparently. Laptop, yeah, laptop with Zoom mic. There we go. All right, so what do we got? I'm gonna go back as far as it'll scroll, and then we're just gonna start there. So we're starting at 131. This is TikTok. I don't do the TikTok thing. Ripsqueak truck gap from WAM FPV. What do we got? Is this gonna? Oh, this is a Google Drive link, I guess. Let's see if it'll work. Is it gonna work? It's working. WAM F. Oh, it ain't working well though. WAM FPV is going under the F-150 there. Ooh, with a car in the street. Oh, with multiple cars in the street. That's ballsy. Look at those cool little houses in all the different colors. I like that. WAM FPV. Careful with that. If you bang into the top of the truck and the rig goes sideways, the pit loop could send you out in the traffic. That's scary, scary. But he got under there. He didn't hit it. There we go. Nice, WAM. All right. What else we got going on over here? Can you guys see this? Okay, good. I forgot to check. Bob Noxious testing Gemfan F3's one-pack rip. I'm probably not going to play the... Why'd you do that? What? Where did it go? There we go. Oh, because it's a YouTube link. Got it. I'm probably not gonna play these entire videos that are multiple minutes long. I'm just gonna like kind of shuttle through. There's Bob Noxus's Crown Vic with Mustang wheels on it. Wow, this laptop is struggling. Maybe we won't be doing much of this if the laptop can't keep up. Yeah, I got to check out his Crown Vic at the little flying event that I had before the flow state screening. A little spot here with a bunch of warehouses. Power lines are vicious, Jesus. Yeah, there's that inverted look down. Bob, leave it longer when you do those. Ready? I think I missed it. Here it is. Hold on, you want like a really dramatic thing? Here we go, ready? And leave that. Let it sit inverted like that. Let people's eyes, when you invert like that, people's eyes have to... Wait, no, that shouldn't be. Oh. Thank you, Remy Tim. There we go. Okay, you guys could hear me, but I wasn't loud enough. All right. I'm gonna give that little bit of feedback one more time. So when you do this inverted snap, this big throttle blast, and then you look down. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Leave it there. Leave it right there. Give your viewers' eyeballs a second to figure out what just happened, and look down at the ground. And the rig will sit up there and it'll fall nice and slowly. It's easy to get freaked out when you're inverted because you're like, oh god, you know, air mode is running, it's pulling me down to the ground. But they'll sit inverted for a while, and it's a really cool, like really interesting kind of perspective. So yeah, when you do those big snaps and you invert like that, in my opinion, just let it hang there for like a full second or two, and let your viewer's eye, you know, because when you do that, right, like as you pitch back, your viewer's eye goes down towards the bottom of the screen, because otherwise they're just looking up at the sky, right? So the viewer's eye like tracks down to the bottom of the screen, and then you snap, and the bottom of the screen is just sky. So now they got to move their eyes up to the top of the screen, and if you don't give them enough time to do that, by the time their eyes get to the top of the screen, you're already moving around again. They're like, oh god. So yeah, when you, in my opinion at least, when you drag someone's eyes off the bottom of the screen when you're pitching back, if your subject, the ground, now comes onto the top of the screen, you want to just give it a little bit of time. You want to give them a little bit of time to look around a little bit. So yeah, that little rant that I just went on, that's an example of what I talk to folks about in the one-on-one Fiverr sessions for flight in the simulator. If you guys were ever wondering like what all goes on during those flight instruction sessions. Also, and you may them power lines. You also just made the correction. One of the ways to so when you do those snaps, a lot of times they'll only be like a tiny little bit of the ground on the top of the screen. You can either fix that on the sticks and just hold pitch down for longer to get more of the sky in the viewfinder. Or that's actually an opportunity to maybe go in and change your rates. Maybe you go in and you change your max rotational rates. Technically, you could just change them on pitch, but I usually recommend you keep pitch and roll the same. But you know, that's an example of you know, if your footage, if something keeps happening in your footage that you don't like, and for some reason you can't fix your thumbs, sometimes you can fix it in the rates, and as long as it doesn't wreck the rest of your flying, you know, there's options, right? There's options. Paul McD says no edit, but good times. Rocking around the park, windy as fook. Where are you gonna open it this time? You're not gonna open it at all, laptop. Okay. Well, you didn't give me that last time. What? Oh, okay. It's opening it over here. Oh, in a completely different window. That's interesting. Oh, this laptop be struggling. She's struggling. Let's see. Let's see if the laptop can handle another YouTube video. I don't know why I don't know why it's such having such a hard time. You're certainly welcome, Bob. All right, come on. Oh boy. Oh, look at it. It can't even go full screen. Oh no. Oh no. All right, hold on. Let's turn it down a little bit. Turn the quality down a little bit. Oh, look how upset it is. Oh, come on. Come on, you can make it full screen. You can do it. There, oh, a little bit, little by little. It's getting there. Oh, there it is. All right. We are rocking around the park. This is a cool little spot. Oh man, no, let's go down to 720. I don't really need to do anything. The stream goes out in 720, so there's no need for it to be in anything more than that. Anyway, this should help. Quasimodo says CNC Drones has a butterfly 3.5 frame that you might be interested in. If it's called the butterfly, I probably won't be interested in it, if I'm honest. But let's let this play for a second, or the laptop will. Wait, what? Why did it just stop? Keep going, yo. Keep going. CNC drones, and we're looking at the, oh man, this was a good idea in theory, but this laptop is not into it. Looking up butterfly on CNC drones. Oh, that's actually kind of interesting. So to keep it sub 250, it's got to be the 2.5. Huh. The center section is interesting. Well, you know, it's a unibody, so immediately I'm turned off. But the QAV Cine is also a unibody, so kind of the same. I don't like that they don't connect the guards are not connected to the center section on the left and right, and that's not really much extra carbon. And that's going to make it a lot less strong. From a vibration standpoint, also from a although it does have the, yeah, I mean, it does have the main arms though. Huh, that's interesting. The QAV Cine was designed by Ryan Harrell. And Ryan Harrell is a brilliant man. So I'm going to stick with that one. But that's an interesting little frame. Huh. All right. Moving on to the next. We rocked around the park with Paul McD. What is going on, laptop? Come on now. Come on, come on. You got this. You can do this. There we go. I'm going to leave that open. And maybe the next one will open up in the same... Nope. It refuses to open up somewhere that I can use it. Come on. Here we go. We got a little bit of GrizzFPV coming at you. Let's turn it down to 720. Oh man, 60 frames. That's going to give the laptop a heart attack. Come on, buddy. You can do this. You can do this, laptop. Come on. You can do this. Ethic says it's called butterfly because it stings like a bee. Oh, come on, man. Oh, wait, no, it's working. All right, let's see. Let's see. Ooh, is it gonna work? What's going on? I forgot. I wanted to look at, what's Grizz flying here? I'm gonna take a guess that it's a ripsqueak. Does he let us know in his description? Oh, come on, man. I just clicked show more. It's just text. It's just text. Please just... Nope. Don't know what he's flying. My guess is going to be ripsqueak. I don't know what this aspect ratio is. Is this 1:1 aspect ratio? I think this is 1:1 aspect ratio for Instagram. Probably filmed this for Instagram. The only cameras that I know of that record in 1:1 though are the Insta360 GOs. Oh wait, didn't somebody ask me about Insta360 GO or Death? What was it? Scrolling back in the chat while Grizz rips around. Man, I feel like somebody asked a good question about Insta360 or something or other. Whoever asked that question, do me a favor, tag me, and if you're still here, and re-ask it if you don't mind. Bob Noxious dropping the link to Grizz's channel. Thank you for that. Yeah, Grizz is an OG hardcore fan over here. He deserves your love. He's a great guy. He said he was a little... Oh, look at that slide, though. I don't know if this is a ripsqueak. If this is a ripsqueak, it's carrying a heavy camera. This is a heavy rig. There it is. GrizzFPV getting it done. Grizz, if you're in the chat, tell us what rig that was. Inquiring minds need to know. All right. What else we got going on here? Oh boy, we are just chugging along here. I'm gonna skip this one, Grizz. I'm gonna try to get as many people. Wom, I'm gonna skip you as well. I'm gonna try to get as many different people in here as I can. John Goblin, Schizophrenic FPV, Winter Water. Opening up on the wrong screen, of course. Night, Dad. Thanks for hanging. All right. GrizzFPV says, that is QAVS JB before I retired it with a Hero 8. There we go. Yeah. I don't know why it looked like a... it felt like a ripsqueak at first. Did you have it like really low camera angle or something, maybe? It just had a 3-inch vibe to it for some reason. I didn't need to do that. GoPro, there we go. Thank you, Cheesehead. GoPro versus Insta360 GO2 for cinematic, hands down GoPro. Cinematic, absolutely 100% of the time GoPro. Insta makes some great cameras, but they're just not up to par for cinematic, and they probably never will be, if I'm honest. GoPro just has way too much of a head start. So yeah, anything remotely resembling cinematic, it's got to be a GoPro. The Insta cameras are for freestyle FPV, well, yeah, freestyle FPV. Oh, we're struggling with this 60 frame stuff. Guys, in my opinion, don't do the 60 frame per second. It takes away your ability to get nice motion blur in a lot of situations, and it doubles the file size for not much of a reason. The only real reason to do 60 frames is if you're flying like drift cars or another subject that you're gonna want to slow the footage down to half or quarter speed. Other than that, if you're flying freestyle, don't do 60 frames per second. It's awkward, and it just doubles your file size. And my laptop can't play them, which is the real problem, right? Look at the snow, man. Holy crap! Where is this that got all this snow? Although I guess a bunch of areas got hammered pretty good this year. I love seeing the snow, the footprints and the animal prints in the snow from up above. That's really cool. Abraham just arrived. All right, the 60 frames is just crushing the laptop, so I'm gonna bail. Although we made it almost all the way through it, so I'm gonna bail on this one. What else we got over here on the Video Collective? Envy of the Birds' Vacation. St. Lucia mountain surfing. Ooh, this will be pretty good. Come on. Here we go. Let's murder it by turning it down to 720. Hopefully it'll be 720/30 though. Then the laptop will be happy as a pig in his own shite. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Oh, look at that. Jeez. All right, it's already in 720. Let's give it a second. I turned the volume down, but I didn't turn the volume off. Oh, there you guys. Oh, it's not monitoring on my side. So you guys are getting the audio, but I am not. That ain't gonna work. He ain't gonna be in rush hour too. Look at this. Good lord. FPV when you go on vacation, it's great. It's just a slippery slope because like the people that we live with have to listen to us talking about FPV all the time. Like their idea of a vacation a lot of times involves not having to hear about FPV all the time. So just be mindful of that, right? Like, don't make your vacation about FPV, because the people that you live with are probably not going to love that. Yeah, now we're talking. That's, oh man, what a spot though. Jeez, flying from that, I'm assuming that you're standing on the beach there, you just fly right up that mountain. Oh my God. That is like, this is FPV heaven here. Being able to just hammer this whole area. That blue ass water. Yeah, man. This is it right here. What a amazing spot. Look at all those mountains to climb up and bomb down. Oh my goodness. Extra brave flying over the water. That's confidence in your gear or just stupidity, either or. Whichever works. One of them you'll get your rig back, the other you might not. Actually, both of them you might not get your rig back, but one of them there's a much better chance. Hanging nice and low in the water, very cool. When you're flying over water, if the water has texture to it like this, you're safe. Be really careful when you're flying over water that's completely glass smooth, because you have nothing to like judge your elevation and you'll just fly right into the goddamn water. If you're gonna fly over glass smooth water, you have to fly by the sides of your FPV camera, where you can hopefully see the dock, or not the dock, the beach or the side of the river or whatever. So yeah, always remember that. That's actually a really big deal. Like if you fly over glass smooth water, you'll just, I know it sounds insane, but you will. You'll just fly right into the water. Hugging the bank a little bit, very cool. Yeah, so this is the safe way to fly over water right here. You keep the bank to the right of you so you can tell what your elevation is. And also if you crash, you'll be somewhere near the shore. If you crash anything more than like 20 feet out, it's gone. Don't even bother looking for it. It's just gone. Hopefully you've got your phone number on your SD card. Somebody might find it 20 years from now and send it back to you. Look at how clear the water is. You can see down to the rocks. Very cool. Good stuff, man. Hell yeah. All these videos are in the Video Collective, which is a Patreon-only text channel over on our Discord. Here it is. Look at that. You can jump on in there, post your videos, and maybe I'll play them at some point. Now we're talking. Can we? All right, I give up. There it is. Wow, that's rad. Very, very, very cool. Envy of the birds. Captain Cannoli coming in with laziness level. Laziness level up. And I can already see he's laying on the couch with them goggles on, with what appears to be a samurai sword sticking into the couch, or maybe sticking into his head. I'm very curious what's going on there. Drone Pilot says, I fly over water very often. Had a few go in. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to not fly over water and not lose one at some point. Now there does appear to be a samurai sword, a miniature samurai sword sticking out of Captain Cannoli's head. So he's hanging out. I'm assuming this is very sped up. Yeah, this is quite sped up. So this is a Whoop. I'm assuming that this is a 75mm ELRS Whoop. This is probably the Mobula 7 ELRS, would be my guess. To get that kind of range out of a Whoop while you're sitting in your house. This looks an awful lot like... oh, never mind. I love that Relax It's Mine. Oh, come on now. I've had a bunch of people tell me that like this is what they do with their Mobula 7 ELRS. I've come down pretty hard on the Mobula 7 ELRS. But I've had a couple people tell me that like this is what they do with it, and like I mean, there's not much. I still kind of think that it makes more sense to build a... Come on, man. I still do think that it makes more sense to build a toothpick, but you can't build a toothpick for $100, and you can get a Mobula 7 ELRS for $100. Yeah, I mean, this is cool. This is super cool. I wouldn't do it. I would do this with a toothpick rather than the Mobula 7, but it is pretty wild that a bind and fly TinyWhoop can do this. I mean, it's absurd. Let's be honest that a bind and fly TinyWhoop can do this. So yeah, this is really cool. This is just wild. Sitting on the couch doing this, right? Like, come on. That's living. This is living right here. Cheesehead says I'm flying for 5 years, but just freestyle, so GoPro on SuperView is all I cared about, but just getting the cinematic. So why not Insta360 2 seems to have amazing stability even in slight oscillations in my new cinematic quad Taycan. So the sensors and the software of the Insta cameras, it's just not good enough. They over sharpen and they also over saturate, which you could argue that you can fix that in post, but it's not completely fixable in post. Like yeah, and then it's just not as good of a sensor. It's just, you know, GoPro has way too much of a head start. You know, the current gen of Insta360 cameras are where GoPro was a couple of years ago, which makes sense because, again, GoPro had a huge head start. So it's you know, this happens a lot, especially in cameras. Not saying the Insta360 stuff is bad, but it's just nowhere near where GoPro is at. And you'll, like, in the cinematic worlds, GoPros are barely considered to be a real option. Most producers and directors will scoff at the fact that you're using a GoPro. They don't even consider GoPros to be an actual camera. They think of them as just toys. They're used to Red Komodos, they're used to Aris, all these other big-ass medium format, beautiful cameras. So I struggle sometimes to book gigs because of the fact that I only have a GoPro. If I had to try to sell someone on an Insta360 Go camera, like, they'd be like, nah, bro, what is this Mickey Mouse shit that you're saying? So yeah, those are a couple of the main reasons. Oh, hey, by the way, look at these. Look at these. These are the 533 thumbsticks. These are the M4 ones that I ordered. These guys signify the Stick and Dick End Fund being complete and ready to ship out. So once I get home on Wednesday, I'm going to put all of these into their appropriate bags, and I'm going to ship them to the first setup of people. Love it. I love that you guys were right along with me on that. That was super fun. Huge shout out to the folks that jumped in on that. It's right here if you want to get in on it. It's not too late. It's called Dickens. It's here on the Patreon. Or I'm sorry, it's a Patreon only text channel over on the Discord over on the Discord, whatever. What are they called on Discord? Channels? I don't know. Who cares? We got some stuff going on in chat. Let's get caught up here. Paul McDonald says, would you ever step it up to lifter status? Maybe like DJI, you will see the dark side too someday. I hope not. I would really rather not. You cannot, Cream Pie. Yeah, the lifters are a whole different world of money. The biggest problem is money. And the main problem is the camera. Like the price of a lifter being, you know, to build a lifter, you're looking at like $800 to $1,000 usually. That's actually not the problem. The problem is the $3,000 to $5,000 you're going to spend on a camera, because nobody in their right mind is going to let you, because I said so, Cream Pie, and this is my live stream. So, you know, this ain't a democracy. This is a totalitarian dictatorship. Yeah, it's just absurd. And Cream Pie, start asking FPV questions. That's what this channel is. Or you're gonna get 661. Yeah, it's also a whole other level of danger is really what I don't like about it. Because like you really hurt somebody, and it also makes burning your house down an awful lot easier because you have these massive batteries that, you know, I mean, our 5-inch batteries will shoot 10 feet of flame. What will these lifter batteries shoot? 1,000 feet of flame? I don't know. I don't want those goddamn things in my house, though. Are you kidding me? No effing way. So yeah, it's all right, Cream Pie. You're getting timed out. You can come back if you want to be an adult and talk about FPV. But for right now, you're getting timed out. Sorry, brother. But you know, you asked for it. You had plenty of opportunities to not be a pain in the ass. So yeah, the lifter thing is it's very complex, you know. And I've also I have not had clients yet that have the budget. So if you're going to go through all the hassle and cost to build a lifter and go through all that, you better be damn sure that you're going to be able to get clients that are going to pay you triple to quadruple what your normal hourly or day rate is. And I've not had that. I have yet to have a client with the budget that would support bringing a lifter on site and putting $4 or $5 grand worth of drone up in the air, right? So it's it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different like ball game, and I'm just not really interested in that. I would rather fly GoPro based rigs 3 times as often than lifters. Also, lifters fly like shit, right? Like we don't have a formula for them yet. So like we don't know. We don't know like the perfect motor to prop to frame combination. And yeah, like you're nursing them things around in the sky for the most part. It's not that bad, but yeah, I mean, they don't fly good, right? And rigs that have GoPros on them fly pretty damn good. So there's a lot of reasons. If I get approached by somebody that's got the budget for that, or if I have to turn down more than like 1 or 2 gigs because I don't have a lifter set up, that's the push that I would really need. But that hasn't even happened once yet, so it's like, to hell with it. We got a CMYK video in the video collective, so let me hop over and I'm gonna kick that on for you guys, because CMYK is an OG that does amazing graphic design and has done a bunch of design for me for nothing. I try my best to make it worth his while, though, in different ways. But he's always offered to do design for me for nothing, which is like incredible. And so the least I can do when I see one of his videos in the video collective is play it on the goddamn live stream. Athix says my Octo flies like a toothpick, surprisingly. But when you put a 10-pound camera on it, it's not gonna. I have flown a couple of lifters without the cameras on them, and yeah, they fly fine. They fly. I mean, they fly exactly the way you'd expect them to. But yeah, as soon as you put a 20-pound camera on them, I'm being dramatic with 20 pounds. The REs and Reds don't actually weigh that, but my God, somewhere near it. They are heavy as shit. All right, where are we at here? Drone Pilot says, "Have you seen FPV video of the down?" Hey, by the way, this is on a Ripsqueak, and this is a Ripsqueak build that CMYK had me work with them on through build planning. So you're getting to see the what you can expect from a build planning session. Although CMYK is a great pilot and a great builder, so I don't, you know, if you're not as good as him in either one of those ways, it might not be quite this good, but it could be. It has the potential to be. Nice, dude. I dig it, my man. Why am I not? Oh, farts. Hold on. Hold on. Gotta fix something right now. Drone Pilot says, have you seen the FPV video? The downhill mountain bike racers being fought, no edits beside buildings, through buildings, under wires, down at high speeds. I saw that. Weirdly, I saw it like 50-something minutes after it popped up. And yeah, super cool. They put an analog repeater. That video is also a great example of why analog will never be dead. Analog will always have uses. And that video is just an absolutely perfect example of it. They put a analog repeater on a Mavic, and they had a separate pilot flying that down to bounce the signal, or to repeat the signal, back to the pilot so they could do one amazingly long run. Really, really cool video. You guys should definitely look it up. And the pilot is Shaggy, who is an old school DRL pilot. So they picked a great pilot for it. B-Man says, time to put up the red Komodo fund on the side there, I guess. Yeah, right. Christ, $4,000 later. There you go. Drone Pilot giving you what you need to search for. Search YouTube for world's best FPV drone shot, extreme mountain biking, and you'll see it. You guys will find it. Paul McDonald says, very true. Remy Tim says, I was going to time him out, but it's more dramatic and exciting if CiottiFPV does it. Yeah. Cheesehead says, donations for CiottiFPV, new heavy lifter with a red on it. Athix says, no GoPro, though. And, all right, cool. Abraham says, analog is dead, though. Trolling, bro, sorry. Yeah, analog will never... Somebody... so I went on a big rant about analog never dying on the last stream, and somebody left a comment. It was like, you know, you're dumb. And he said, you're dumb. And he also... What was really interesting is he said all the pro pilots have moved to DJI. And what was really funny is he name-checked Steel. And I was like, oh, so... Yeah, you're completely wrong. But I put as restrained of a response as I possibly could. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't freak out and report me to the YouTube police. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at restraining myself when people come at me. Because, like, I don't know, like, people's tone in their replies tends to be pretty aggressive. And I'm like, fuck you, you know? Like, who the fuck are you to like, attack me for no reason? Like, if you want to be respectful, like, I'm going to come back at you respectfully. But, like, when most replies that are like that, people are not respectful. And I'm like, you know what? If you're not going to be respectful towards me, I'm not going to be respectful towards you. Why the hell would I? Like, you had the opportunity to be cool. You weren't cool. Time to get shit stomped, bro. I'm like, I know I shouldn't do that, but I don't have much self-control, so, you know, leave me alone. I just work here. Just don't, you know, like people that make free content for you to watch for free on YouTube for free, don't be an asshole to them. Like, don't even be a little bit dickish to them, because like they're busting their ass for you for free. Like, there's just in general, just don't be a dick in the world. Like, there's just no reason. There's just no reason for it, and it just pisses me off. It really does. And yeah, I don't take it well, and I don't like. Yeah. I just don't. Oh, the cops done showed up. Oh, are they radar gunning it? Oh, that's awesome. Come on now. That is cool. FPV racing drone speed testing. 533 tiny trainer, 5-inch silo freaking forest. Oh man, that's so cool. That is, oh man, that's rad. I guess you guys are getting some of the audio. I can't hear any of the audio. See, guys, look, not all cops are bad. Although I bet you this cop left here and gave 20 people tickets that they didn't deserve, speeding tickets, and whatever. Never mind. Don't get me started on that. This is a video more for the audio, I'm sure. So come on over to this Discord channel and check this Steady Eddie video out. This is pretty cool. The audio for this, I'm sure, is pretty awesome. We are knocking on the door at 12 o'clock here, friends, and I am in a house with people that that are probably already trying to go to sleep. So we're gonna wrap it up in a minute here. I'm gonna look for one more video from a new person. There it is, Gator FPV. We're gonna end this live stream with a Gator FPV video. He found a new spot, and this pack felt pretty good. Let's give it a quick watch here, and then I will sign off for the night. I'll be back on CiottiWhoop. Maybe it'll be regular Whoop Wednesday. I don't know. Drone Pilot says I have 20,000 MAH 6S batteries for the lifter drone I made. They live in their lipo bags. In a steel cabinet inside the garage. I'm scared to think of what would happen if they burn. Yeah, man, it just, everything about lifters freaks me the fuck out. Just everything about them. Bobby Bag says good night. Thanks, you're certainly welcome. Here we go with some Gator FPV action. The laptop is just having a crisis, but we won't let that stop us. Give it to us, Gator. There's a cool spot, little pagoda going on, little walking bridge. Ooh, look at those. This is a fun spot to wreck some stuff. Ooh, almost getting into the bottom of that little, what's that, like a rain cover thing? Ooh, man, the sun is blinding. Getting nice and low, like to see that. The more time you spend really low to the ground like that, guys, the better you're gonna get at throttle control. Flying really low to the ground is one of the best ways to dial in your throttle control. If you're gonna put a video up for other people to watch though, flying really low to the ground really shows if you're not totally dialed in on throttle control. Like, you're gonna notice it. You're gonna see the bouncing up and down very obviously. So if you're flying for footage and your throttle control's not totally locked in yet, don't fly really low to the ground. If you're looking to get better, fly low to the ground as often as you can. Athix had to make a dual XT60 lead for the Octa to run two 1056s in parallel. Nice. Yeah, I'd be more interested in doing that. Putting like 4 6S 1050s on there. That'd be pretty cool. Ducking down below the trees, throwing himself back up over them. Very cool. What a spot, man. This is a gift to the FPV gods, this spot here. Bunch of stuff going on. 2 levels on the right there. This little walking rain cover thing is perfect for this kind of stuff. Yeah, this is a spot where you could get good, man. Lots of good stuff going on here. Chat's talking about 5-volt rails. Nice, Gator. I'm gonna cut this one a little bit short because I can hear voices outside the door. But everybody go check Gator out for more of that video. It's another CMYK video for guys as well. Yeah, jump on over to the Discord channel, friends, and there's lots of really good stuff in the video collective here. Look at this all. Look at it all. Look at it all. Look at all of it. Look at all of it. Go find some new folks to subscribe to and watch, and you will not be disappointed, I am certain. Thanks for hanging out, friends. My name is Aaron Ciotti. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. Click some buttons if you don't mind. And I'll keep doing live streams for you to come and hang out. See you guys Wednesday at 8 o'clock. And here comes some flying. Ooh, on the laptop, I don't need to restart OBS usually. Isn't that nice? I don't have much flight footage on here on the laptop. What do I have here? I'm gonna play you guys something weird. This is from the Insta360 GO folder, and I'm just gonna like kind of pick something. No, that's gonna be terrible to watch. A way to 2 Matty flips. What's this? Let's try this. Oh, no. We're not doing that. Ferris wheel raw. There we go. Here you go, friends. Later. There we go. Good Lord, that's how we